Welcome back, class. Today we're going to be reviewing the test that you did the other day so you can see what strategies you were supposed to be using during the test. Now remember, when you have a test, the first thing you do is read the question. A farmer sold 587 eggs on Monday. She sold 569 more eggs on Tuesday than on Monday. How many eggs did she sell on Tuesday? So the first thing you do is underline the question, and then you think about the answer. How many eggs did she sell on Tuesday? So we're going to focus on Tuesday and how many she sell. So this is important. Now, of course, I have to know that the farmer sold these eggs on Monday, and then she sold 569 more on Tuesday than on Monday. That's important too. Now, if you notice, we're doing the representation. On Monday, we have Monday here, and Monday is this bracket, which I can notice is not the greatest one. So I know this is going to be a part. Now the other one here is that on Tuesday, she says that she sold 569 more than on Monday. That means she sold the same as Monday, but she sold this part more. So this is another part. I know because it's a small. And then I'm going to look for the whole. Actually, that's my question mark. If you see, I have a question mark here. And if you notice, this is the longest bar. So this is going to be the whole. Now I'm going to remember that every time that I'm looking for my whole, I'm going to do addition. Remember that, because when I'm looking for the whole, I'm going to do an addition. So I'm going to add the two parts, 587 plus 569 to find the whole. So when I add it, this is 16, 9 and 5 makes 15, and that makes 11. So my answer is 1,556. 156. Now I need to prove my answer, and to prove my answer, I'm going to subtract these two numbers, and if I get 587, means I did a good job. So I do the greatest number first because it's a subtraction, 1,156 minus 569. Now we're going to start by regrouping. And remember, we're regrouping because the numbers, I have 6 things, I cannot subtract from 6, 9. So I regroup, this becomes 4 tenths, and this becomes 16 ones. 16 minus 9, it's going to be 7. Why? Because 7 plus 9 makes 16. And I have 4 things, 4 tenths, I cannot subtract 6 tenths from 4 tenths, so I'm going to regroup. So this becomes a 0, and this becomes a 14. 14 minus 6 is going to be 8. And then lastly, I have 10, because when I regroup this one, is going to be 10 minus 5 is 5. If you notice, these two numbers are the same. 587 is the same as 587. So now I know that my whole is 1,156. And then that's my answer. So you should have clicked on this one to have that right. If you did that, then you did a good job. Now let's look at the next problem. The next problem says Rebecca saves $980. Sebastian saves $345, less than Rebecca. Oh, that means he has less than Rebecca. And I can notice here because Sebastian has a smaller bar than Rebecca. How much money does Sebastian have? So again, my question is, how much money does Sebastian have? And I know that Rebecca saves 980. So this is Rebecca. And so far, this looks like the longest bar. So from here to here. Now, let me see the next part. The next part says, let me change my color here. So maybe Sebastian saves 345 less than Rebecca. That means that this is the part that he has less than Rebecca. So that means this part is not here. If you notice, the dash points telling me that part is gone, it's not here. And that's how much less he has. Another last one is the question mark. They're asking me how much Sebastian has. Now, I notice this is the longest one from here to here. So that's the whole because it's the longest bar. This is a little one, so this is a part. And that means I'm looking for a part because from here to here, that's not the longest bar. So if I'm looking for the part, remember we do subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 980 minus the part 345. So when I subtract, I have 0. I cannot subtract 5 from 0. So I regroup. This becomes a 7. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. And 9 minus 3 is 6. Now I'm not done. I have to check my answer. So if I did a subtraction, now I'm going to add these two numbers. And if I get 980, that means I did it right. Good. So 345 plus 635. 5 plus 5 is 10. I regroup. That's 5, 8, and 9. So 980 is the same as 980. That means my answer is right. So the whole that I'm looking for, the part is $635 that Sebastian has. So the answer you were supposed to select is B. Now, this one, before just looking at the problem, I can notice that it's two questions. I have one question here and another question here, which is telling me this is a two-step problem. So let me see. Sam has 514 stamps, and Tom has 190 fewer stamps. That means he has less. So if you notice, Tom has less because his bar is shorter than Sam's. And then how many stamps do they have in all? When I see the word in all, means I have to add the stamps of the two kids because they said they, and they is Sam and Tom. So first I need to find out how many Tom has, and when I know how many he has, then I'm going to add Sam and Tom to know how many they have in all. So let me see again. Let me look for my bar. So far I notice that this is the longest bar because it starts and finishes here. So I think this is the whole. And then let me find the parts. The ones that Tom has fewer is 198 fewer. That means this is gone. This is taken away. He doesn't have this. That's why I have to subtract from 514, 190. And this is going to be a part because the number is smaller than 514. And that is telling me that this number here, and because the bar is smaller, the part has to be smaller too. So this is the other part. This time I'm looking for the part. And again, when I'm looking for the part, I'm doing subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 514 minus 198. So I cannot subtract from 4, 8. So I regroup 0 and becomes 14. 14 minus 86. From 0, I cannot take 9. So I regroup. This becomes 4 hundredths and 10 tenths. And then 10 minus 9 is 1, and 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's my answer. This is how many Tom has. But remember, I'm not going to be happy until I prove my answer. So I'm going to add these two numbers. 198 plus 316. That's 14, 10, 11, and 5. 514 is the same as 514. So my answer is right, which is 316. It's 316. What I'm doing is what you were supposed to be doing on your test. This was supposed to be your answer, 316. And how to prove it too. So let me, now this time we says that at a concert, there are 460 men, 352 women, and 162 children. And I need to know how many more adults and children are at the concert. So, because I'm talking about adults, how many more than? Remember, this is comparing. How many more than? That means at one point we need to subtract are at the concert. But first I need to know how many adults. Now, if you notice, I have here adults. These are 460, these are the women. And 550, no, actually, no, it's the other way around. Hold on, let me just fix that. 460 men, so these are men, and these are women. And together, the men and the women make the adults. So that means we're looking for this whole. So I'm looking for the men. Let me grab another color better. I'm looking for the men and the women together because they together are going to make the whole. They're together are going to make a whole. So I'm going to add first how many men, 460 plus 352 women, because the question is how many adults, and adults are men plus women. So that's 2, that's 11, that's 8. So I have 112 adults. And they're asking me how many more adults. Remember, how many more than, how many less than is subtraction. Now I need to put my answer first. 812 minus 352, that's 0. I regroup. 7, 11, that's 6. And 7 minus 3 is 4. Yes, I'm right. So I have 812 adults. Now I need to know how many more adults than children are. Now if you notice, again, we have the part now. Now these two became the whole, and this is the part because it's little, and then I have another part here which is little too. So I need to subtract the whole, which is 812, minus the part. So 812 minus 164, which is the part. So I have 2, I cannot subtract 4, I regroup 0, and this becomes 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. I have 0 here, so I cannot regroup. So I do 710 tenths. That's 4, and this is 6. So I think the answer is going to be 648, but I'm going to check it. I want to make sure. I'm going to add these two numbers now. 648 plus 164, that's 12. That's 5, and 6 is 11, and 8. So 112 is the same as 812, so I'm right. So my answer is 648. So 648, which is this answer here. Let me just grab the spotlight. 648. Now if you notice, I'm showing all my work. So one of the problems you have during the test, guys, is you are not showing work, you are not using your strategies, you are not finding the holes, you are not finding the parts, and that's why it's making it hard for you to do your test. Now this is the last problem we're going to review together. Here says there are 265 girls, that's important, and 349 boys in a school. But here says that 190 of the children wear glasses. This number is going to be important. 190 wear glasses. So how many of they do not wear glasses? How many do not wear glasses? And as obviously they're helping us again. They tell us how many kids are wearing glasses. This is the bar. And I notice this bar is not the longest bar, it's short. So this is going to be a part. Now let's look for the other one. The other one says, kids that do not wear glasses, we don't know, but we know that there are more because this one starts here and finishes in the other side here. I don't know how many, but for now, I think this is going to be this is going to be one part. Ms. Macedo, but this is a longer bar. Yes, you're right. This is the longest bar, but I have to look at here. They're asking me how many are they together. See this bracket? Remember this bracket here, guys? And this means to put together, you're going to put together the kids that wear glasses and the kids that do not wear glasses. So it's telling me to do all this together. That means this is the whole. And that lets me know that this is the part because the whole is putting everything together. So the first thing I have to do is add these two together. Why? Because they're telling me here to add. So I'm going to add 265 plus 349, and that's 14, 11, and 6. So together, the whole is 614. Let me prove it. Maybe I'm wrong, so I'm going to subtract these numbers to see if I get the same answer. 614 minus 349. I regroup, this is a 0, and this becomes a 14, that's 5. 0 minus 4, I cannot, I regroup, that's 5 and 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, and 5 minus 3 is 2. 265 is the same, so the answer is going to be 614. Now, if this is the whole and I have the part, I'm going to subtract because I'm looking for the part. So I'm going to do that. 614 minus the part 190, minus 190. That's 4. I cannot, from 1, I cannot take 9 away. So this becomes a 5 and this becomes an 11. And that's 2. And this is 4. So 424. So I see the answer here. But I always check my answer. Now I'm going to add these two numbers. And if I get 614, I'm right. 190 plus 424. That's 4, that's 11, and that's 6. Yes, I'm right. So my answer is here. Let me just, so this is the way you are supposed to work on your test. You are not supposed to try to guess. You have to have a paper, a notebook, and do all your work. Which one is the whole? Which one is the part? So next time that we do your retest, make sure you use your strategies I teach you so you can be more successful when you do your test. See you next time. Bye.